Okay. Well, I am extremely happy to be here today. I am looking forward to actually talk about this final. I've been thinking about this for a long time. It's definitely not uh, going to be probably the sexiest topic out there, but this is something that's going to be massive whenever it comes to businesses and the application that's going to be used within it. And I'm excited to walk through everything, the process from getting the data, cleaning the data, uh, linking up the app, and showing you the application that will come from this. Ultimately, what we're trying to do uh, is talk about customer prediction and renewals within this. Okay, well, why uh, when we're given anything and talking about anything within in presentations and topics, we have to really consider the why. Well, most importantly, the reason why we did this is because customers are literally the premise of our businesses, right? Without them, we wouldn't stay in it, right? So if companies uh, who don't consider or invest a lot of time into into their current customers they have, we tend to see a lot of revenue. Actually, we see a lot more revenue go to waste when companies don't take care of their current customers, right? If we are able to predict if customers are going to stay or go within a given contract, and the company that we'll be looking at, or their services that we'll be looking through the lens of, will be MSPs and multi-service providers, typically with IT, anything from protecting service, cybersecurity, to encrypted tokens, everything along that route. Okay. And with these applications and early discussions, well, we want to make sure our customers stay with us. We don't want them to go anywhere else. Okay. We lose money and we spend a lot of money trying to get new customers anyway. This will allow us to really hone in and target and take care of and nurture our current customers, because that's huge nowadays. So we are going to be looking through this whole framework, right? Of all right, data cleaning. We had to ultimately decide what are variables and indications of what we can measure to really make sure everything is crypted, encoded, right? We had to do a lot of um, identification of what is really measurable. If we look here within this, uh, let's see if I can. Yeah, this one will allow us to show the data that we use. And again, this is all synthetic, but we took a lot of last variables and threw a number onto these. And this is what really allowed us to get some sort of a feedback or calculate a feedback to our replies, right? One being um, positive replies, zero being non. And so we had to do a lot of identifying what is really out there, what is really measurable. Um, and so within this, we did run a lot of models, models being just basically complex math equations to run the optimal accuracy to get what we want, or the optimal um, graph and charts, and to predict certain accuracies or tendencies that we can consistently see given certain predictions, right? We did run a lot of logistic regression, uh, all these random forests, XBoost, um, and support vector machines. This one is just all. This one we're going to be talking about here soon, relevantly. But to show you what I mean about what we ran, um, I'm going to share with you now our models that we have ran for this. So as you can see, I'm going to scroll with this. Oh, scrolled through this, but as you can see, we did a lot of Python to really extract a lot of the um, um, data or the accuracy within this. I'm going to use that, but I know there is a word that I'm looking for and I'm totally spacing it, but we're going to keep going um, to really hone in our prediction to figure out the optimal model that we use to get the information we need. Okay, well, what is that model? Ultimately, we went off of our F1 score, and it was that uh, the support vector machine model. Because I ultimately, this was my decision, we want to offer the F1 score. And I guess this log one, this log run, it had similar testing scores. So I could have gone with both. But I went with the top one. That was actually also the one Databricks suggested within this. And here's just a screenshot of that. And so we really wanted to hone in on, okay, well, what are we really trying to compare? With this, we really wanted to make sure we eliminate we really wanted to make sure we find some consistencies identifying what our customers really need and want, especially as you see here with the second one with the business interpretation, the consistency of identifying high risk customers early. So we want to really lower any false negatives of our current customers, right? This is going to be critical for retention because if we are able to identify any of the true positives and lean into those factors of why customers continue to stay with us, that allows us to really hone in and lean into what is necessary for our actions as a company, our marketing, our sales tactics, or even our, for example, with Delta. I just got done flying through Delta, and when I was done, they emailed me a free 14-day YouTube Premium package. Of course, I'm not going to pay for YouTube Premium, but I would love to have a 14 like free whatever that free day of YouTube. Okay, we that that was actually something I really enjoyed from a customer, right? And I would be willing to continue to go back to Delta just because they're doing small little nuggets um, of appreciation towards their customers. The tip culture, don't even get me started with the tip culture nowadays. If if a company keeps asking or if a consumer keeps feeling like they're losing money all the time to these consumers, we got to get something back for it. Here are a lot of our charts that we have, right? Here's those true positive, true negatives, true negatives, and our true or our false negatives, right? Um, Within this, here's our ROC curve. We identified a cool little 91%. I actually, now that I do think about it, if we go back to here in the model, running the models, I do think you can click on this image and it will take you to the percentage wise, but I think the SVM model, excuse me, gave us that 91, and here is our precision and recall curve with our 90%. So I thought that was very reliable. And now, as we're going through this, what are we collecting? Well, we're collecting a lot of attributes from our customers, a lot of these high demanding um, wants and needs from a customer. And we are going to then talk about our application here. I'm super excited to show you this. Let me just share this real quick. So this is our application we use through Streamlit. Just because this is our first time using this and it needs a little bit of time of warming up, we're going to kind of go through the application of this. I'm just going to have it rejoin so I can show you this little game that I made within it. It's kind of nice. You can actually do it while it's predicting. So, oh, there we go. We jumped over the car. One more, just so I can make sure I go on with the continuation of the presentation. We're going to talk about the model a little bit as it's loading. Well, here's our key factors page, and here's a little bit of the about section. So when you have the application, you can look more into that. But the key factors are over here on the left that we can adjust based off of what our customer, as an IT service provider, what our customer does and how it also tracks how we respond to our given customer, right? So it seems like it didn't go through, but we're going to continue to talk about this. So with our our features, it is able to know what our customer or how we act towards our customers and what our customer does, because we also send them emails. If they open it up, that is a key indication they are interested in what we have for them and to do. But what is cool and what the key concept of this is that now we have all this information. So now what? Well, we can actually, this application, I reference 4 to 5 optimal or reference 4 to 5 books of marketing and sales for corporate leaders and corporate indications or corporate books. And once we get this prediction app going and it finally gives us our ultimate decision if an individual is going to renew a contract with us, there it goes, and we got the little balloons. It actually gives us tailored suggestions and recommendations for every single customer probability here. So this is really cool. So let me do a little bit of an example. Let's say they're tenured, right? Let's say they've been around for 24 months. Okay, they're a little bit of a enterprise. The text message, because at that point there'll be text message, finance. Our average response time to them is 5 hours, or yeah, 5 hours. And then, but they get high ticket options. Let's just say 20, just for the heck of it. There, and they keep opening up our emails, but they also give us 0 positive replies. So that means they don't like anything. So as it's going through, it's loading up. Well, this customer kind of gives us a bad vibe. They don't really like our services. Okay, well, that's scary for us as an MSP. What does it do? Well, it's finance. Well, they respond differently, and it gives you that scenario. Well, they're high support, so they require and demand a lot of attention. All right. Well, if they're a new lead, actually give them a story brand. What does that mean? We'll show them off that they're a new brand, that they're a new customer, make them feel wanted and needed in it. And the likelihood, just continue to build that strong trust, right? Education based marketing. Well, what does that mean? Well, if you continue to inform your customer of how much you appreciate them for the money that they are spending, it goes back to that theory. Um, and it does display a little bit of a raw model based off of that the ones and zeros that we saw at the beginning of the presentation to that. So let's get back to the presentation as I wrap up what we are going to do within this. But here's our positive influences and negative influences. Well, this is actually something that's very, very crucial to it. If these positive influences, this gains um, our how do I put this? I'm going to put this in bluntly. The positive reinforcers, if we make sure and execute them perfectly, they very much they only impact our decision very little. If we prioritize the negative and turn those into a positive situation, it's going to actually increase the percentage more greater if we took care of the negative influencers um, rather than the positive influencers, or more than the positive influencers. The positive influencers are just as good, but if we are able to take care of the interaction gaps, the support tickets, like lower the support tickets within it, it will do greater for our probability and likelihood than it would if we didn't take it seriously as a lead priority, or we didn't give them that much attention in the meantime. So hopefully that makes sense. That the negatives, if we lower the negatives, it gives us a higher chance of renewal within that. So these are negative influencers. If we're able to minimize those give us a greater chance overall. Um, Lastly, home stretch here. Uh, Business evaluation and insights. Well, this allows us as a business to really take care and personalize and tailor our relationships with each and individual one of our customers. If I was in a um, if I was in a business, I would very much love to know how to treat every single one of my customers. If I was able to be basically and practically a in-house service, and I understood every core value business and even the employees, the decision maker, everything in and out, I will know that there will be a customer with me for life. That loyalty is worth more than losing them to go spend money to go try to get more individuals to sign on. It's definitely making sure we align every strategy from sales to marketing to customer service to even our services, and even how our service engineers or whoever treats the individual, right? We all want to feel loved. We all want to have that. Lastly, take away, um, just to recap on what we talked about. What do we prioritize? Well, customer loyalty, number one. And with that, that is allows us to continue to grow as a company. What was our best performance? What was that SCM file showed the highest F1 score and accuracy. I felt like those two really are high combinations within that. This allows us to give us proactive actions and data to really make sure we take care of every single customer, and change up our marketing strategy. uh, this really will give us insight into allowing us to take care of everyone and keep them around so we can stay in business. But anyway, that is my presentation about customer retention. I think hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you have any questions, I'm going to post this. This is going to be up on YouTube, so leave a comment down below. Same thing with all my socials, but I appreciate it. Thank you.